Hello guys, so in our last video we learned about magnet, magnetic dipole, magnetic field due to dipole, torque and potential energy of magnetic dipole. So in today's video we are going to learn about various terms related to magnetism, current carrying loop as a magnetic dipole and geomagnetism and various terms related to it. So watch the complete video, share it with your friend and subscribe the channel. For more study material, you can also visit our website newerasolution.in. Now let's discuss the various terms related to magnetism. So the first term is magnetic flux. As we already discussed about electric flux in electrostatic, in the same way magnetic flux are the magnetic field line passing through a surface normally, and magnetic flux can be obtained by the dot product of magnetic field with the surface vector. So magnetic flux is BA cos theta. So the SI unit of magnetic flux is Weber. Now the next term is magnetic flux density, which is also known as magnetic induction. It represented by B. So magnetic flux density is magnetic flux per unit area passing normally to the surface. So if we talk about the unit of magnetic flux density, then it is Weber per meter square or Tesla. So magnetic flux density is also known as magnetic induction, which represent the force experienced by a surface due to magnetic field. So next term in magnetism is magnetic permeability. So magnetic permeability is the property of the medium which expresses the degree by which magnetic field lines can enter through the medium. And if we talk about the magnetic permeability, so for different medium the magnetic permeability is different. So mu naught is the symbol of magnetic permeability in free space and mu m is the symbol of magnetic permeability in a medium. If we talk about the unit of magnetic permeability, then the SI unit of permeability is Weber per meter per ampere. So this is the unit of magnetic permeability. The next term in magnetism we have relative magnetic permeability, which is represented by mu r. So relative permeability is basically the ratio of permeability in medium to the permeability in free space. It is also the ratio of magnetic flux density in medium to the magnetic flux density in free space. So as it is a pure ratio, it doesn't have any unit. So by knowing the value of relative permeability, you can find the value of permeability of any medium by using this formula. So the next term is magnetic intensity or magnetizing force, which is represented by capital H. So it is basically the degree up to which a magnetic field can magnetize a substance, and it is also defined as the force acting on a point as a unit north pole experience the force when it placed in a magnetic field. If we talk about the formula, then magnetic intensity is magnetic flux density by magnetic permeability. So the SI unit of magnetic intensity is ampere per meter or Newton per Tesla per meter square. The next term we have intensity of magnetization, represented by capital I. So it is defined as the degree up to which a substance can be magnetized when it placed in a magnetic field. So magnetic intensity is the property of magnetic field and intensity of magnetization is the property of substance to get magnetized. In other term, intensity of magnetization is basically the pole strength per unit area. So by using this formula, we can find intensity of magnetization as well as magnetic intensity. So next term in magnetism is magnetic susceptibility. So it is the property of the substance which express the ease of substance to get magnetized due to magnetic field, or you can say it helps to find the extent up to which a substance get magnetized when placed in a magnetic field. So basically susceptibility is the ratio of intensity of magnetization to the magnetic intensity. So susceptibility is basically a unitless quantity which help to find the behavior of substance which placed in a magnetic field. So as in electrostatic, we establish a relation between electric susceptibility and relative permittivity. On the same way, we can establish the relation between magnetic susceptibility and relative permeability. So we know that the magnetic flux density in vacuum is mu naught H. Then magnetic flux density in the substance or the medium is mu naught I. Then the total magnetic field is B naught plus Bm. Then by putting the value, we get mu naught H plus mu naught I is equal to B. By taking mu naught common, we get H plus I. Now from the definition of susceptibility, we know that susceptibility is I by H. So I can be written as H into Xi. Xi is the symbol of susceptibility. By putting the value of I in the above equation, we get B is equal to mu naught H plus Xi H. So by taking H common, so we have B is equal to mu naught H 1 plus Xi M. M for magnetic field. So as we know, B is the magnetic field in the medium, so it is mu M into H. So mu naught H 1 plus Xi M. H is cancel out. Mu M by mu naught is equal to 1 plus Xi M. Then permeability in medium upon permeability in free space become relative permeability. Then relative permeability is 1 plus magnetic susceptibility. So this is the relation between relative magnetic permeability and magnetic susceptibility. Now let's discuss how a current carrying loop behave as a magnetic dipole and find its magnetic dipole moment. So let a loop of radius r in which a current I is flowing. So if we observe the two phase of the current, then the direction of current in both the phase is opposite. So if we apply the right hand thumb rule, then we find one phase behave as a south pole and other phase behave as a north pole of same strength and separated by the diameter of the loop. So a current carrying loop can be behave as a dipole with the distance equal to the diameter of loop and pole strength same but opposite in nature. Now if that current loop placed in magnetic field, then we already discussed the torque experienced by magnetic dipole in magnetic field is mb sine theta. And we already discussed in magnetic effect of electric current that the torque experienced as a current carrying loop is IAB sine theta. So by equating these two torque, we get mb sine theta is equal to IAB sine theta. So sine theta is cancel out, b is cancel out, we get m is equal to Ia. So it shows that the magnetic moment of a current carrying loop is current into its cross-section area. So if there are n number of loops having same current, then the magnetic moment of n loop is Nia. So each loop of current have the same magnetic dipole moment, which is algebraically added. And if you talk about the direction of magnetic dipole moment, then the direction of magnetic dipole moment is same as the area vector of the loop, because current and the number of loop are the scalar quantities. Now let's find the magnetic dipole moment of an atom in which electron revolving around the nucleus. So as we know, in atom, electrons orbiting around the nucleus, and due to the electron, a current is produced in the orbit. So as a current carrying loop, the atom will also behave as magnetic dipole. So as we know, the current due to a charge is charged by time. So in that case, to produce the current, the charge is minus E, and the time to produce the current is the time period to complete one rotation. So the cross-section area of the loop is pi r square. Now as magnetic dipole, the dipole moment of the atom is current into area. So m is equal to minus E by T into pi r square. Now the time period is the distance, which is the circumference, upon the velocity. By putting the value of time period, we get m is equal to minus E pi r square by 2 pi r upon v. So pi is cancel out, one r is cancel out, and we get m is equal to minus E v r by 2. So this is the magnetic moment of the atom, which is behaving like magnetic dipole. Now we also know that the angular momentum of the atom is mvr. So Vr can be replaced by angular momentum by the mass of electron. By putting the value of Vr in that, we get magnetic dipole moment is minus E L by 2m. So this is the magnetic moment of the atom in which electron revolving around the nucleus. Now according to Bohr theory, the angular momentum of the hydrogen atom is L is equal to nh upon 2 pi. So by putting the angular momentum, we get m is equal to minus E nh by 2 pi into 2m. So when n is equal to 1, when there is only one electron, so m is equal to minus E h by 4 pi m. By putting the value of charge of electron, Planck constant, pi, and mass of electron, we can find the magnetic moment, which is now known as Bohr magneton. So the Bohr magneton is equal to 9.27 into 10 raised to power minus 24 ampere meter square. It is also represented by mu B. Now you also have to focus that the direction of magnetic moment of the atom is in the opposite direction of angular momentum, because the negative sign shows that these two vector quantity have opposite direction. Now let's discuss the magnetism related to Earth, which is known as geomagnetism. So there are various theories which shows that Earth also behave as a magnet. Some theories state that Earth have molten iron which is responsible for its magnetic behavior. Some theories state that Earth have atmosphere in which iron rotate around the Earth and responsible for the production of current. Some theories state that in Earth, due to the motion of ions or charge, there is a production of current which is responsible for the magnetism of Earth. So due to all the theories, we can conclude that Earth shows magnetism because we observed when a magnet is freely suspended, it aligns itself in a north and south direction. So it is only possible when another magnet can exert a force on the given bar magnet. So to study the Earth magnetism, we have to focus on that Earth have 4 poles, in which 2 are geographical poles and 2 are magnetic poles. So the north and south are geographical pole of Earth, and if you observed, the magnetic south lies near the geographical north and the magnetic north lies near the geographical south. So when a magnet is freely suspended, its north pole directed towards the north of Earth because it is attracted by the magnetic south of Earth, and the south pole which is directed toward the south is it because the north pole of Earth attracted the south pole of the magnet. Now there are various terms related to geomagnetism, in which the first term is geographical axis. So the imaginary line passing through the geographical poles known as geographical axis. The second is magnetic axis of Earth, which is the imaginary line passing through the magnetic pole of the Earth. The third term is geographical meridian. So it is a plane passes through the geographical axis of the Earth. Then the fourth term is a magnetic meridian, which is a plane passing through the magnetic axis of the Earth. The next term is magnetic declination. So it is the angle between magnetic meridian and geographical meridian of the Earth. The next term is magnetic inclination, which is known as angle of dip. It is defined as the angle between total magnetic field of the Earth with the horizontal component of magnetic meridian. So the total magnetic field of the Earth, which makes an angle with the horizontal component of magnetic meridian, is called the angle of dip. It is represented by alpha, and the value of angle of dip lies between 0 to 90 degree. So alpha is equal to 0 at equator and alpha is equal to 90 degree at the poles of Earth. So at different angle of dip, we can find 2 different component of Earth magnetic field. So if we using this diagram, we can find 2 component of magnetic field. One is vertical component and second is horizontal component. So the vertical component of Earth magnetic field is B sine alpha, and the horizontal component of Earth magnetic field is B cos alpha. So if we put the various value of alpha, we can find the vertical and horizontal component of Earth magnetic field at that place. So at equator, when alpha is equal to 0 degree, then BH is equal to B and BV is equal to 0, which shows that all the magnetic field act along the horizontal direction of magnetic meridian and the vertical magnetic field is 0. Similarly, at poles, when alpha is equal to 90 degree, then the horizontal component of magnetic field becomes 0 and vertical component become maximum. So for different value of alpha, we can observe the variation in magnetic field from equator to poles. Now let's discuss the neutral point of Earth magnetism. So it is the point where the net magnetism is zero. That means the magnetic field due to the magnet is cancelled out by the magnetic field due to the Earth. So there are two possibilities to get the neutral point of Earth. First, in which north pole of magnet is pointed towards the geographical north, and second, when the south pole of magnet is pointed towards the geographical north of Earth. So in the first case, when north of magnet is pointed towards geographical north, as we know, near the geographical north, magnetic south of Earth is lies, and near the geographical south, magnetic north is lie. And we also know that north pole is attracted by the south pole and south pole is attracted by the north pole. So the magnetic lines moving from north to south direction is attracted towards the south of Earth. Similarly, the magnetic lines originate from the north of Earth is reached to the south of magnet. So if you observe that these two regions which lies on the equatorial line of the magnet will not have any magnetic field lines, because these lines reach to south pole of Earth and the north pole of Earth send the lines toward the south of magnet. So we get two neutral point on the equatorial line of the magnet. In the next case, when south of magnet is placed towards the geographical north of Earth, then these south pole repel the magnetic field lines of this south pole, and this north pole of Earth repel this north pole of magnet. In this case, we get two neutral point on the axial line of magnet, because magnetic field lines of magnet is repelled by the magnetic field lines of Earth at the poles. So in different case we get neutral point on different position. So in this case we get neutral point on equatorial line, and in this case we get neutral point on axial line. I hope today's topic clear to you. If you have any doubt, you can write in comment box, email us, or you can also visit our website newerasolution.in. Till then, study hard, share the video and subscribe the channel.